I'm going to risk everything to make the Splatsource community a happier and safer environment for everyone.
Well then, good luck, brother. You're gonna need it.
What's this?
Well. Seems like you found my reality mirror. Don't worry, you have all the necessary tools to get through this. However, there's one more mortal that I want you to hunt down. I hope you're ready for it.
Even if it means to kill me, so be it. Hello, this is Mr. Bubblegum, and welcome to my hell. Hello folks, I have risen once again with another exposed documentary. Now, you do have to mind the setup for this video, since I want to try something new for once. And yes, this is me, Mr. Bubblegum in the flesh. Now, looking back through one of my previous videos and on my chopping block list, I'm just going to be the elephant in the room and say that exposing people who are considered pedophiles isn't considered drama. The reason I say this is because it's more of a criminal situation that goes somewhere that is beyond petty drama. Now that we actually got that out of the way, let's just recap of what we learned from Mr. Bubblegum, shall we? Jack Tropolis, a lying communist who has been cheated on his ex with a 14-year-old. Even though the age gap is fine on itself, doesn't mean that he's a manipulative cheater overall. DataRex227, a lip-smacker sociopath who harassed almost every girl in the Splatsource community. It's Noah's Ark, an unstable millennial who tries to date with a 15-year-old on Valentine's Day. In this documentary, I'm going to be talking about one of the most people who I have known on my timeline for quite some time, Alfonso the Inkling. You know, it's very strange that I actually covered for this guy recently. I mean, given that his track record is in complete shit, and this is something that needs to be talked about. Let's just get on the introduction already. Censorship is quite possibly the biggest common issue we had over centuries. In this society, on the internet, pedophilia or not, people will do anything they can in their power to take down any public information in order to save their reputation and brand. Whenever they are abusing their fans, to attack those who have done so, and even goes as far as abusing flagging systems to mass report something just to hide that information provided to the public. But when it comes to Splatsource, this doesn't surprise me. In this video, we'll be going through an epic journey of another individual on my next chopping block, Alfonso the Inkling. Before we actually talk about this kind of situation, please do not go out of your way to attack, harass, or witch hunt anyone that I mentioned in these topics. This is meant for really strict criticism and to give someone like Alfonso a reality check that what he did is considerably illegal. It will feed him into his victim mentality, and with people who have legit criticism make him look bad. Now, if you guys have any questions or comments or concern about in regards to this documentary, please let me know on Twitter on DMs. I have a Twitter account that report drama from here and there, and my Discord tag in general. Now, just keep in mind that this is going to be the very last video I'm going to be doing on this channel, but I'm going to have to post another video about this pretty soon, but we'll see. Alright, enough fucking around. Let's get on with the fucking video. Allow me to give a brief summarization of who Alfonso is for those who don't know or lived under a rock. Alfonso is one of the former members in the Splatsource community who lives in Mexico. Just like many other members in Splatsource, he makes Splatoon related content only on Social Filmmaker. Now, as I'm writing the script and as I'm recording this, He is now making content that relates to Monster Hunter as his new rebrand, Alfonso Hunter 115 Fire Sword Emoji, for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure someone here on YouTube is beginning to question why Alfonso rebranded his name all of a sudden and decided to depart anything that relates to Splatsource. Well, I'm going to give out a huge entire story of what is behind the scenes of Alfonso's career by revealing his true colors for both Twitter and Discord. So, with that out of the way, let's go back to where it all first started.
Alfonso! How do you not understand splitters?
Before I jump into any of his controversies, there are a couple of things that I would like to address. Most of the screenshots that I'm going to show you are in Spanish, so for convenient purposes, I translated them into English so people can fully understand what the texts are saying, despite the fact that Google Translate has been a pain in the ass lately. Also, for the sake of my own credibility and safety to minors out there, some of the not safe for work art stuff is heavily censored for these serious reasons. Now then, shall we continue? The fall of Alfonso began when people were losing trust in him. Why is that? Well, it turns out that on January 30th, 2022, Alfonso made a couple of posters featuring Vexy Vadpors without her consent. The context of these posters were he is taking Vex's clothes off and for what it seems to be a friends with benefit kind of thing. Now, at first I thought it was some kind of like petty roleplay shit since these guys were both adults and are perfectly okay with it, but that's not the case. Not only that, but he also cheated on his what's so-called wife, Midnight Alhart, a victim of Alfonso, and later on you could see why. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the relationship is very questionable. Now at that time, Alfonso was 18, while Al was 15. I really can't explain enough as you thought that dating a minor is a good thing to do, Alfonso. I mean, you do realize that this can leave you vulnerable with any highly suspicious questions that it can put your reputation into jeopardy. Regardless of what your intentions are, what you did is beyond fucked up. Now, due to this and after the fight with Chris once confronted, Vex and him disconnected with Alfonso from any collaborations and associations with each other for further projects. Before Chris's video was being published, both Al and Alfonso had been caught white knighting their fan base to mass report Chris for what I believe in is censorship, but we're gonna have to do some digging later on just to be safe than sorry. Once the video was released, Alfonso made a quote-unquote apology video to address the mistakes that he has made, which I'll be breaking down some points that were made, and my god, it is generally the worst apology video I've ever seen on YouTube. Ah yes, the good old classic sigh from the very start of the video. Oh, trust me people, you'll get to hear that constantly.
After the things I made it, the exposed what Chris made it, Christian and Turan. Guys, I think it's time for tell the truth.
Oh, the truth that you've actually, I don't know, made a couple of posters of your friend without consent and also made Chris very pissed off about it? Yep, that'll do.
I can't hide it anymore. I made some uncomfortable things. No unforgettable things. I made it myself.
So you basically admitted to that. And this inspirational speech music that you use on YouTube, which I used the muted version due to copyright, isn't making this apology any better for yourself. I mean, it's like you're not taking this shit seriously.
Time for hating myself and hating some people. If you are considering me some another person pedophile, alrighty.
Alright guys, time to pack up everything. We can just end this video right here. Let's freaking go!
I'm just to stay here, just ruining my life. Plus, if you wanna hating my wife Ellie, no. Hating me. Hating myself. Hating me.
Not trying to act like an asshole here, but honestly dude, this is kinda your fault. All this could have been avoided if you wouldn't have made that poster in the first place. And if you keep on bringing this negative engagement by saying, oh, I hate myself because of what I've done, it's gonna make you a bigger target as those you called haters put out as to why they have valid reasons to go against you.
I don't want my wife Ellie hurt.
Age like rotten milk and sticky cheese, I'll say.
It was my fault and make this shit. I'm so sorry everyone. Splatoon community, I made it myself.
I don't know what else to say of the fact that you're only sorry that you got caught. Typical Splatsource apology, folks.
Chris, if you see this, I'm so sorry for everything what did I making for you.
After the video was made by Chris, Alfonso's entire career and reputation at this point has been crumbling into dust temporarily. He brought all of this to himself, and it's rather disappointing that some people just kinda shrug it off like nothing happened. As for Al, well, not to bring any hate of her whatsoever, but she did add more fuel to the fire by using Alfonso as a shield on some occasions. Now, similar case to Jacktropolis, I do believe that Al has been manipulated by Alfonso, and that's where all the abuse takes place. Now, this is where the juicy part comes in. On October 6, 2022, a user by the name of Maxwell Plays Roblox released some serious evidence on Alfonso being very abusive to Al. He even goes as far as forcing her back in a relationship because Alfonso wanted to have his girlfriend for a nice time. You know, I'm kinda curious about what he meant by that. Either way you put it, it is absolutely disgraceful that you're forcing a minor to be in a relationship with you. Since I have no tolerance for abuse in any way, I actually confronted him about this, and little to no surprise after I called him out for it, he blocked me afterwards. Of course. While Al pushed her limits and admitted to every mistake she made to protect Alfonso, things gotten worse when he threatened her by planning on making a quote-unquote exposing video on Al. Thus, he screenshotted her Discord DMs and on Instagram, as Alfonso also claims that Al is quote-unquote using him for drama. Now, there are a couple of things that I would like to say in order to debunk your claims. Again, what you are doing is not considered drama. It's more of a criminal situation than any actual petty drama at this point. Secondly and lastly, when did I see or heard that Al is using you for, well, in this situation? Al literally just told you that she doesn't want to do with you anymore. You're basically blackmailing Al all because that she's expressed her honest opinions against you that you're heavily despise nor appreciate. You just want to sweep everything under the rug and pretend that it never happened. Now, once called out for it, Alfonso decided to make another one of these half-assed trusted community posts on his channel as he continues to run away from his problems and plays the victim as always. Due to the amount of backlashes that Alfonso couldn't take anymore, he deleted his entire community posts that relates anything to Splatoon, private his Splatoon videos along with his apology video, and disabled his comments on his recent videos to avoid any negativity that comes towards him. A couple days later is where the final nail was put in the coffin of Alfonso's entire career. There was some sexual misconducts on Alfonso in Discord in the year of 2021. These includes ERPs, sending unexpected nudes, and even goes as far as sending Al an MP4 clip of him his to her. Now at the time, Alfonso is 19, while Al is, I would say, around 15 or 16 years old. I couldn't simply fathom enough why is it so hard to keep this shit in your pants. I mean, it's fucking sickening that you got out of your way to do something that was considered illegal and portray it in a way that is a good thing to do. You don't even have a clue how delusional you are by literally contradicting yourself. Yeah, it's very strange that you said,
I deserve it.
really goes to show that you're expecting any sort of sympathy from us, your dick riders, and your circle of friends as you thought that you did something wrong, while you're fully aware of it from the start. To relentless strive for, you open up the floodgates as you continue to roam around freely, thinking you can just get away, going all scot-free and do whatever your corrupted mindset tells you to do, even if it gets you into any legal consequence. I'd really like to see your outcome when you said, "Oh, it's all in the past" excuse in front of a judge around court, since you'll be automatically proven guilty by the moment you finish your sentence. And if this does not convince you enough otherwise, well, let's hear what these interviewers have to say. So, first question I want to ask you is that, what's your entire background with Alfonso?
Okay, so my background with Alfonso is that I thought he was like a good person. Me and him were good friends. We got along with each other very well. Pretty much. Yeah, that's all I can say. Pretty much, I just thought he was a good friend, but then no, he just turned out to be a manipulator and a asshole.
Well, the entire background, I would most likely say things have been a little bit fine for me ever since we had a talk for pretty much a year or so, since we've been friends, ever since I made my first video of the impersonator of Ali. That has been pretty much done with, and I have to be honest, that video was like so cringe in my entire life. But I'm not gonna be honest, I made that for the first time, and fortunately, I'm pretty much done and over with. And
Okay, go ahead.
But ever since I've seen what I have been told from Chris and Vexy about the poster thing or what else he has done, I wanted to make a video about the rise and fall of Alfonso, but because of, well, no hate to Ali though, but she was gonna pretty much attack me by telling the truth to Alfonso and her fan bases, obviously, if I made that video, but as it was requested by Vexy and Chris, I decided to cancel it for that apparent reason.
I want to ask you, there's also an add to that. Have you been associated with Alfonso in the past? If so, what do you guys usually, talk about in these scenarios that you would like to share?
In the past, but like pretty much what we would what we would talk about is that like we would just do normal friend stuff. Like we would usually talk about Splatoon or Mario Kart or whatever. We would just talk about whatever. But recently, it just kind of got to that point where like, yeah, he was starting to be sad all the time, and like there was nothing, like it just felt like there was nothing I could do to like cheer him up, because not just that, but he was always be mentioning about his girlfriend Midnight Heart Alley. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would always be talking about her but not in a good way. It just sort of in a sad, creepy way, which would make me really uncomfortable. I did not like.
So for the situation with Vex, right? Yeah, that he made a poster that he's like kissing and all that stuff. I had like another interview that asked me, which I want to remain anonymous, asking me about that Alfonso is like pretty sad over the fact that he keeps thinking about Al and all that stuff. Can you actually improvise what the whole like like why he actually thinks about stuff? Is it something to do that he's like sexual frustrated with that kind of stuff, or what was the can you provide any information about that?
Well, I would say he was pretty much obsessed with Allie ever since he and her broke up at the time. And then at the time when they did, Alfonso was like all furious with her. Like, she wanted to be forced from Alfonso to be back in a relationship, but Allie is still denying it, which is a good thing because she doesn't want to be around him no more because of what he has done in his own true colors. And all aside that from that sexual harassment thing, or the NSFW posters that Alfonso made to Allie, and even that inappropriate video he sent to her, I can pretty much say, man, what an absolute cock Alfonso is at this point.
Before this whole Vex situation, have you actually, what are your actual thoughts that he's like, when Alfonso's keep on thinking of like Vex and all that stuff, and has like, I don't know, what is your reaction when he actually made that poster of her?
My reaction to it, like, at first, I thought, like, it was just, like, probably both of them do, like, some sort of semi-18 plus stuff together. But no, it turned out that he did it without consent, and Vex was pretty pissed. So, I ended up confronting him in DMs about it, and he denies it, even though, I literally showed him that there's evidence against that. And he keeps denying it, which, bro, there's no denying it. Like, you literally made NSW out of someone without consent.
I mean, it's not the first time he actually done something like this, because he has been, I think he actually did it with, I think he actually made, I think it was Al's friends, if I remember correctly, that she was very uncomfortable to the point that he basically did some Nazi for erotic role plays or something like that, but I'm not really sure about that, but you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just freaking wow.
Yeah. So, with the whole situation breaking down after the entire situation, because I heard that he's also been very abusive to Al, and he also like sent his, well, you know what, to her. What is your overall reaction to this?
Honestly, I myself seen that video, and the only thing I reacted to is I was extremely pissed off. So, before that, I made a tweet about that with a trigger warning to it because it contains many reasons, obviously, of what I've mentioned. Like the sexual stuff, the inappropriate things, the role plays and all. I can't even calculate anything else. But for the viewers who are still knowing about Alfonso, if you haven't been watching this video, I would highly suggest reconsidering who you're supporting as of right now, despite Alfonso just refusing to take accountability like we told him to, and he just unfortunately doesn't. Despite him rebranding himself as Alfonso 115 after receiving amounts of backlash and criticism, I gotta say for that is, what a baby he is. Like, why would you ever rebrand yourself after receiving amounts of backlash and criticism to another community that I do not represent? And another thing I do want to share, we did actually, no, not actually collab, but he did actually make me a new one because my old one was kind of crap and stuff. I couldn't make my own one, but so I happened to use oh my Jesus Christ, I cannot say it. The watermark on my videos.
Like, I was disgusted. I was like completely disgusted by it that he would do that to his girlfriend. It would be one thing if both of them were at least adults and she had consent to do that. But no, he's 19 and Allie is 15. Like, yes, here's the thing. You if you're at least a little bit older, say what, like a teen. Yes, you could be in a relationship with somebody who's at least somewhere around 18. But bro, you can't do it. You still can't do anything sexual otherwise, because that just is pedophilia. First off, but in general, that's just disgusting, bro. Like, get some help, bro.
Right. With everything that has been breaking down, do you believe that Alfonso deserves another chance over redemption?
No, honestly, I do not know. He does not deserve another chance. He just, he needs to just, like, all I can say is, like, he just needs to just, get off the internet and just get a life. Like, yeah. Like, bro, like, with everything that he has done, no, he does not deserve another chance.
I gotta say, hell no. He doesn't deserve any more chances because he fucked up numerous times. It just, I don't know how many months, but I just say that he doesn't deserve any more chances.
Yeah. You know, for the second time he got exposed, it doesn't really surprise me given that he made a... Because I actually predicted this one time, that whenever he did this second time he got exposed, it doesn't surprise me because with the whole Spec situation breaking down, it just seems like that he doesn't care. And I actually knew that the second time he got caught, I knew something like this is going to happen eventually. Because honestly, because pedophilias overall are complete scumbags. Because honestly, once it's always like you said, once a pedophile, always a pedophile. And once you've actually came to that situation, then it's gonna like haunt you for the rest of your life, and that's gonna like stay in your permanent record. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Because yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's literally nothing you can do to change the fact. To change the fact you were once this innocent person that turned out to be just just like a monster. Here's one thing I will say: he may be a man, but he's a monster.
Well, before I pretty much left off with your own thing, but I just want to say it's pretty much been a long time that I wanted to discuss about Alfonso in this video that I wanted to address to you about Alfonso, but Chris happened to do the honors for me, or I would say otherwise. But if you guys are watching, if you may have seen the videos some other individuals made covering the situation about Alfonso, I can pretty much guarantee you all that Alfonso definitely wish that he should be held accountable for all of his actions and deserves to be pretty much in prison time if the police were ever to find him at this point. Despite him living in Mexico, I can pretty much guarantee you all that us USA people can be sure that it's quite impossible to get rid of him on the internet like we've dealt with other, well, most problematic human beings such as Theorex, Isno's, Dingodile, and a few other people.
Before we actually wrap up this interview, is there anything else that you would like to share that you can put out to the public?
One thing I will share is that first off, don't trust Alfonso the Inkling, because he's just overall just a completely creepy person. Second off, don't trust pedophiles people because otherwise you may possibly become one too.
Before we actually wrap up this interview, was there anything else that you would like to put out there, Maxwell, before we end this off?
Definitely, I would like to, but I'm going to be addressing this to Alfonso and making a message from him.
Go for it.
Alfonso, if you're watching this, I got a word for you that you better listen to. Is this what you want? Doing all this sexual stuff to Allie and all this stuff you've done to her? Because you know, Alfonso, I hope that one day you end up in prison, just like the other people who are doing bad stuff. Because knowing what you have done, that made Allie so upset and mostly feared from you because of your predatory behavior. Knowing that her was in your entire hands. There's only one last thing I want to say. To the viewers of Alfonso, if you're watching this video, I will kindly ask y'all to please do not interact with Alfonso, do not follow, do not give him any more support, block him, report him, and yeah, just don't interact with him. Because if Alfonso even tries to go after me, or even if you guys, you honestly have my permission to share the tweet I just made to Alfonso's fanbase to let them know what Alfonso has hopefully done. Because me, especially you, Matt, Chris, and Vexy, and Allie, are willing for Alfonso to face justice from the depths of our own hands. That's all for me. Thank you, Matt, for having me for this interview. And Alfonso, you can honestly go fuck yourself.
Alright. Thank you so much, bro. Maxwell. Thank you.
Welcome. Alright, see ya.
Alright, so that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for having this interview, and if there's anything else I'd like to ask you, I'll let you know, alright?
Alright. Also, yeah, I would prefer. Also, I would like it if you would keep me anonymous because recently Alfonso has been attacking me because I've been calling him out recently. So pretty much just to prevent that, yeah, just leave me anonymous.
Will do. You're good.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too, mate.
What is your entire background with Alfonso?
Alfonso the First was a friend of the one I met a long time ago. I met him in 2020 when he had entered my EXGF from the server. I found out to him that he spoke Spanish just like me. We played, let's say, Call of Duty, and then we played with friends. Chatting jokes, etc., but we still had a good time when I was friends with him. I became friends with him 2 years ago. But since things have changed, the last time he was not like that before we say.
Do you guys collab with each other, projects, video games, etc.? If so, what do you guys do? If not, what do you usually guys talk about?
More or less if we talk between games, entertainment, etc. But I don't know if he remembered me a lot because he made Call of Duty types of video games, let's say, but among themselves things, but not so much collaboration with him because I didn't help a bit. But he helped me a long time ago, poster collaborations, let's say. Only sometimes does he collaborate on a project with each other. I don't, because he spoke to me types of animations of SFM animation. But I didn't have to collaborate with him because I wasn't an animator with him. Oh well.
When you started connected with Alfonso, during your overview, have you experienced / noticed any issues with Alfonso before this all happened?
Just like I told you my first answer. Alfonso has anger problems that he suffers too much, but that's why I tried to calm things down with him and he was still angry, for example, making jokes about Alfonso. But in reality he made jokes with me and I didn't get angry for that reason, he laughed. And then when I made jokes with him, the joke that struck me 2 years ago, I made a joke for him to change my profile to Alfonso's profile to copy from him as jokes, and then he would get angry with me, and that's why the only problem he has is the hypocrisy that he has in his head. And when we broke up our friendship, when he blocked me, he kept talking to me in blocking. Wow.
So, in your first video you made on Alfonso, you mentioned something that Alfonso couldn't take criticism. If you can, would you mind elaborating on that claim?
In fact, the first exposed I did to Alfonso, it was that his animations, his movements were very bad. That's why I criticized Alfonso's animations, that he has a rig problem, while my ex-girlfriend was giving her help to Alfonso to improve Alfonso's animations. But unfortunately Alfonso kept making animations in a row, but with errors. That's why I was disappointed in Alfonso's animations. And that's why he couldn't accept my criticisms about Alfonso's content. After he exposed things, people went on and on putting Alfonso's side after everything that happened about Alfonso's things. From abusing my ex-girlfriend in a poster without permission, and rig problems too.
Back to the controversy poster that Alfonso made on Vex. How does it make you feel when he did that to her without giving permission of it?
Honestly, when Vex showed me Alfonso's posters, she said that Alfonso was in love with her, while I think Alfonso wanted to make posters for her without permission, and for that reason she kept quiet. Then to the same topic, Vex showed that poster and my reaction. I was shocked and jealous when I was her boyfriend, Then I argued with Alfonso about her posters. And he said, it was a joke, it's just a joke. And then I got mad at him and then I ended the friendship with him. That's why I told him to get away from her, that she's not important to you.
There's another awful thing that Alfonso did to where he's abusive towards Al, who is a minor, and even went as far as sending his you-know-what to her. Now, if you are comfortable, what's your overall reaction when he did this?
Before that, when I saw the new evidence of Alfonso, tweeted by Maxwell, but Ali Hart came to talk to me about the current situation with Alfonso. That's why she asked me to help me do the second expose. The reason is that Ali told me about what Alfonso had abused her, doing sexual things to her real-life face, let's say, showing her to a younger girl. When I saw that evidence, I was more shocked. And this may be worse exposed than my first exposed video of Alfonso. When I discovered Alfonso's age, he was 19 years old and Ali was 15 years old. That was when Alfonso told me the age between them. And that is why the relationship between them bothered me a lot, because of the problems of different ages.
With everything that has been breaking down, do you believe Alfonso deserves another chance over redemption?
The answer is simple. The answer is, no. No more chance, because I have already given him many opportunities when I was friends with him. And then he made problems and more mental problems, and I said that ball in the trash after he did Maxwell's exposed and mine too. That's why Alfonso is not like he used to be. Everything has gotten much worse. And also Alfonso hidden, and he had changed his name so that people would not know who Alfonso is. I mean, LagsciousAnimator. Then he was exposed when I showed you the new evidence of him. He had done NSFW, but more after a while. He had deleted it so as not to cause more problems. But equal. They are all hypocritical problems with him. That's why he doesn't deserve to live in this community. I wanted his being out of the community because the people they saw exposed don't want him. And others, yes. On Twitter the same, and he did not want to see that no people are next to him.
Is there anything else that you would like to add before we conclude this interview?
I think that is the only conclusion now. I think so far, because, as Alfonso had said with me, that he wants me to change. But he did NSFW on Twitter. But hey, also don't forget that there are people who defend with Alfonso. For example, Shinzu, Antalane, among some users. So try to reason with them. But like some users like Shinzu, she blocked me on Twitter after trying to get her to get away from Alfonso. But I think that Shinzu is the one who doesn't want to listen to my evidence, being next to a pedophile. But hey, that's all my interview, sir. But I hope so. Alfonso. He leaves this community forever.
With everything I've shown to this day, we could pretty much tell what kind of a person Alfonso has really become. Not only an incel and a sex offender, but a dangerous sexual predator that he'll do anything he can in his power to attack those who call them out on his shit and censoring those who do so. I do believe that Alfonso has this mindset to where everything will be okay as he continues his sexual harassment towards girls and even minors online. You know, when it comes to content creators who got exposed, such as Anime's Bromi, EDP445 and some others, these types of people use an advantage on their platform to where they'll be gaining new subs/followers in order to become relevant again and go all scot-free. The only way that they can do that, though, is that these followers are unaware of their actions, and that's saying something, isn't it? However, it would be much appreciated if all of you who are watching right now to share this video out like wildfire, so people can be fully aware of Alfonso's actions towards his crimes that he has committed. At the end of the day though, I believe that Alfonso's entire audience on his platform are mostly targeted as young children. they wouldn't completely understand how insanely serious it is for people like Alfonso to utilize his platform for children to prey on. To be fair, I think it's well justified that his online platform should be taken away from the internet entirely, since predators like Alfonso cannot be trusted with one. Alfonso the Inkling, aka LagsciousAnimator, as I'm recording this, if you are watching this video, as someone who I used to enjoy your content within a couple years back, no amount of words how absolutely devastated I was to see you have really become. You are an absolute disgrace to not only the Splatsource community, but the Monster Hunter community as well, since you think that it is wise to transfer here. And I know damn well that the Monster Hunter or any other communities that you're willing to attend will never want to associate nor be around with sexual predators like you, since anyone with a brain who watches this would warn others about what you're capable of doing. So, you can go ahead and stay mad about it. However, if you are actually smart enough, don't even try to make a full-on response out of this. Look at Noone, for example. He called me a monster when I made my video on him, even though there are factual evidence against his unstable behavior and what he has become. So, unless you know what's good for you, take some goddamn accountability, log off, go outside, touch grass, and get some help. Or better yet, turn yourself in. Just like we've told many scumbags who were caught in literal 4K, your action speaks louder than words if you want any redemption. But because this is Splatsource after all, we have our highest doubts on that. As for me, you'll never in a million years be forgiven due to the severe crimes and how much people you have backstabbed and destroyed.
Jesus Christ. I'm glad that's over. Hello? Hey, what's up? Wait, are you actually serious? Alright, just send me the location, and I'll be on my way over there. Now, if you excuse me, I have some unfinished business to take care of.
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.